Hello, everyone. Good morning. If you can hear me, please could you make a comment? I would like to know we are here. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I'm going to start the class now. Let me know if you are here. Please drop a comment. How has our week been? I know I have 5 viewers right now. I don't know who these people are because no one is dropping a comment. And hello, Antonia. Good morning. So we have 9 people viewing, and we know. Okay, sorry. I mean, I'm using generator, so this is why you probably cannot hear me. So please let's just wait for some people, to join us. This is the beginner class, and this class is very, very important, so that we can all learn Figma. Okay, Rico Sound, can you hear me better now? Good morning, Tommy. Good morning. I decided to have the class here because I wanted everyone to, sometimes when I had this class last year, I had about 24 people in my group, and everyone in the group was everyone in my group was mostly, they were new, but I didn't have my classes this way, and it was a bit, difficult for people to catch on or go back to previous classes. So I decided to start using YouTube to have the classes, and yeah, so we have 12 people here now. Let's wait. When we have about 30 people, we can start. Let's wait for 30 people to join the group. Good morning, Quadri. Good morning, Toluwani, my friend. Okay, Rico Sound. I'm glad you can hear me better now. So we'll be starting once we have about maybe 30 people. Let's just wait for another 3 minutes. Let us wait for 3 minutes, then we'll start. So I hope everyone has Figma. Do you have Figma? Do you have Figma on your laptop, on your computer? Let me know so I can okay, so we have 13 people here now. So yes, Rico Sound is recorded because sometimes I know you want to go back to get something. Yeah, I can see the comment, Antonia. I can see the comment. Rico Sound, this is a recorded class so that you can always come back here to learn some things. And why I wanted us to have this class and I didn't talk in the group was because personally I wasn't even ready. I wanted to I've had about maybe 100 people or 200 people in my DMs on LinkedIn and on Twitter who wanted to learn design, and I don't have time. So I found that the best way to get back into teaching people design is to just take a step. So this class is not even planned. Everything I'm going to say in this class is not planned. So I just want everyone to I just want everyone to know that design is something we learn and we practice every day to become better at it. So yeah, this is not a planned class. So I will just be talking about design generally. So I will talking. Where is this coming from? Okay. Yes. So please be patient. Let's wait for some other people to join us. The next class will be better than this because in the next class I would have more. I want everyone to be on the same page when I start. So by next week, if anyone is coming to meet me to ask any questions, they'll just have to watch this video and we can continue from there. So please let's just wait for some people to join us. We still have 13 people here, and I thought about 80 people should at least join this class today. 80 persons should join the class today, but I don't see that happening. So let's just wait for a few more minutes. Then we can start and talk about UI UX. Okay, so we have 11 people now. I don't know what is wrong. Don't worry, after this first class, things will get better if we are very patient and we are um very patient and if we are what's the word? If we are patient and if we are disciplined to learn. So let's just I think we should start now. We have 16 people now, so we should start. So good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining the class. And I know that in the next 3 months we'll be good designers if we, take everything I say, word for word, and we practice and we even go beyond what I'm talking about. I hope you can hear me, Rico sound. If we are disciplined and we decide to learn, we will be able to learn design properly. So from time to time, I'll give out assignments and tutorials to do. I'll do a design, I'll upload on YouTube, and I'll send it to us in the group, and we will be able to watch the tutorial videos and go to design them. And before the end of this class, I'll teach everyone. Okay, Queen Esther, sorry, I've already started already. Yeah, I know we should have a music, but I've started already, so you might just want to skip. Okay, I think I'll tell you that next time. So I would want everybody to just, pay attention and, burn the candle at night and do even beyond what I'm going to teach today. So today I'm talking about UI UX design from the start, from the scratch. I would also talk about different applications of UI design, how we can see UI designs around us, and we would know what it is. So let me get back or get straight into my Figma. Sorry, this is my first time doing a YouTube class, so I don't know how it works. I mean, so you might just have to just forgive me if I'm not if I am not doing it like the way you would want it to be. So UI UX. So what is UI UX design? Okay, let's start with what is UX design. What is UX design? UX design stands for user experience. User experience is the feeling or the experience a person has with the product. For example, there are many times we've used applications or mobile applications and um, we've moved on to applications and we've found out that the application, is frustrating. It's frustrating us and we cannot enjoy what we are doing on the application. For example, you have a ketchup bottle. There are plastic ketchup bottles and there are regular ketchup bottles that are glass bottles. Sometimes when we are using glass bottles to do stuff, we find it. Can anyone see my screen? Can anyone see the screen? Sorry, this is my first time using the software. Okay, yes, we can see it. I'm glad. Sorry, Benny. Sorry about the network. So let me go on. Let me continue. You have to forgive me because this is my first time doing this. So UX design is the experience a person feels when interacting with the product. For example, one of my very, very weird examples of UX design is when I was in secondary school, we used to cut grass. Even when I was in university, I went to FUTA, Federal University of Technology, Akure. When I was at FUTA, we used to cut grass in 200 level. It was a compulsory course for everybody to do. And when you hold the cutlass, if you're an Ajebo person and you hold the cutlass, there's a way the cutlass would bruise your hand. There's a way the cutlass is made to not, be comfortable when you hold it or grip it. That's an example of user experience. For example, have you ever seen a water bottle or even phones? There are some phones that you cannot hold them properly. The grip is not good on the water bottle, and so the water bottle is always slipping when your hand is wet. The people who designed the water bottle in the first place will have seen that, okay, if I'm smart enough, I will be able to create a water bottle that people can use, that everybody can use, that would work for them. A water bottle that, you know, no matter if my hand is wet, I can always grip and hold the water bottle. So this is what they call design thinking. Let me write it here so that you remember I mentioned it. Design thinking. So in design thinking, you think about the product and how you can affect the UI and the UX of the product through design thinking. Through design thinking. So design thinking is how to do with how the product would feel when you use the product. So in design thinking, we think about how the product will feel, how the people will interact with it. And this is where UI UX comes in. So let's read what the definition of UI UX says here from Career Foundry. Career Foundry defines UI UX as the overall experience a user has when interacting with a product or service in a given context. Depending on how the product or service is designed, the experience can range from delightful to downright frustrating. You will often hear about UX in relation to digital products, such as websites and applications. But no, UX design is not limited to digital spaces. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. There's this ketchup bottle example that people always talk about. There's the plastic ketchup bottle where you can squeeze the ketchup out of the bottle, and there's the one where you have to just keep pushing the bottle like this, and it's very, very frustrating when you're trying to eat potato chips and you're hungry, and then the ketchup is not coming out of the bottle because the bottle cannot be squeezed to squeeze everything out, and it's not nice. Another good example is cashew bottle. I cannot believe or understand the reason why people would make um we use glass ketchup bottle, cashew bottle, and put cashews that is curved inside the cashew bottle. And then for me to now eat cashew or take out three, I'm already even tired after bringing out three cashews from the bottle. I do not like it at all. And the funny thing about this cashew bottle is that it has a narrow neck. I don't know if anyone knows about these things, if you've noticed it before. The cashew bottle has a narrow neck. And so for bringing out the cashew back can be very, very annoying because the cashew will just get stuck halfway and you can't get the cashew out of the bottle. Now, this is user experience. So, when I'm talking about UX, user experience, it's not only in how we look at mobile phones and applications on the phones and everything. It talks about many things all around us in our lives. For example, look at cars. When you sit down on a chair, when you sit down on a chair in a car, the shape of the chair is shaped in such a way that you can always rest and your back is comfortable. There are some chairs that are you sit on and then they'll be very, very bad. That's what they call poor UX design. So on Twitter, we were having arguments about toothpaste and toothbrush and pressing it and squeezing the bottle. And I don't know if you ever remember there was a time when there was this particular, I think it's not Max. I can't remember the name of toothpaste. But I don't know if everyone here is Gen Z. I'm not Gen Z. But everyone would know that there's this particular bottle where you squeeze the toothpaste out of it. But the particular container is metallic. And when you squeeze it, the entire toothpaste bottle is rough. And you cannot squeeze the toothpaste out. You have to be bending it and squeezing it out. But nowadays, we have better UX in terms of toothpaste containers. You can squeeze it from any part. You don't have to have your partner or your married or your husband. You don't have to have your husband or wife when they squeeze toothpaste at the middle or at the bottom. Because now the container is easy to squeeze. You can squeeze the toothpaste out of the bottle. Yes, okay. Yes, exactly. Cashew bottles are not logical at all, Queen. So we can see that we can see UX design, user experience, in so many areas of our lives, from bottles to houses to cars, the shape of cars. Tesla. I don't know if you've seen Tesla product, but you cannot open the door of a Tesla car properly. I'm coming. Let me show you what it looks like. For those who can understand, I would show the cashew bottle example B. So I'm just trying to show you what it looks like, what the cashew user experience looks like, because it's very, very important we understand this. Once we understand the basis of UI UX, understanding what we are designing as designers will become very, very better. So as designers, you don't have to copy and paste people's work. But when you understand the nitty-gritty of UI UX, you understand every other thing else. Don't worry, before the end of this class, I'm going to jump into UX and we'll see what it means. My network is a bit bad, so I'm trying to send some things to my Figma so you could all see it. Please be patient with me. Okay, so my network is really terrible. Let's let us continue. So user experience is the feeling of is that frustration of is that feeling of frustration that you feel when you are trying to open a door and the handle is not good, you can't grip it. There was a time there was this round handle for doors. Imagine if you had oil on your hand or you just finished in the kitchen and the handle to your door is a doorknob, round circular one. You find that you have to make sure your hand is dry and clean before you can use this particular door. That's bad UX. And if you notice in the last 5 years or 10 years, you won't find those kind of door handles anymore. You won't find those kind of door handles anymore because it's terrible. And what happens to products that last is the test of time is that they always have good UI UX. They always have good UI UX. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry you guys cannot hear me or you're having issues with this. We'll find better ways to have this class next time. I'm just trying to open. So while I'm trying to find the pictures I'm trying to send here, which I have not planned, we would see that the impact of good UI UX is everywhere on products. For example, we will not buy some kind of spray, some body spray because of the cover. When you press some insecticide containers and you press it for a while, your thumb starts to ache you. And you see that in the last few years, the spray for perfumes and other things have changed the design. They've changed their designs. You can now press easily, without even stress. And so basically, the impact of good and bad UX is everywhere. That's one of the reasons why this field of UI design is a very very important field to look into. You know, if you look at products, this is the cashew bottle example I'm trying to show. Sorry, network is bad, so I can't load it. So we can look at this particular cashew bottle. We can see that getting the cashew out of the bottle can be very very strenuous or stressful. But when we see that and a better bottle will be to make a bottle that is very, very easy to access the cashew inside. I don't know why they're doing this. Maybe because cashew is very, very sweet and they want to make sure that they maintain, you know, it lasts forever. Nothing good lasts forever. So the cashew will last forever because the stress and the work it takes me to get cashew out of the bottle is even, more than eating the cashew itself. So this is what UI is. So the next question we want to look at is we can look at what is user experience design. Now that I've looked at it from this angle, we can now say what is user experience design. I'm sorry, my laptop seems to be freezing. So we can say what is UX design? What is UX design? So UX design or UXD considers each and every element that shapes the user experience. It's about designing specifically for the needs of a group of people. For example, you can say, okay, today we want to make a bank app that are for babies. How will you design an app for babies? Would the babies know how to use it? We can say we want to design an app for elderly people, pensioners. How would pensioners use it? Because many of our parents will say WhatsApp, they'll say what's up when you're talking about WhatsApp. Our parents are so good at, they don't understand it. And I'm like, it's written in English. Why don't you understand what this app says? That's who I am. I'll be like, Mommy, this thing is written in English. Look at this icon. This icon is universal. This icon, you can see it on TV. I don't know if anybody knows that icon, this particular icon on remote controls. When I'm talking to my mom about stuff, I'll talk about the icon on remote controls. This particular icon that's always on the TV remote. This icon. There's an icon on TV. I don't know if you know the icon. This icon. It's the power icon, right? You see it on TV. We know that when we sit on phone, on applications and stuff, we know what it means. It means to turn off something device, the power icon. So in design, we have to use and understand who we are designing for. For example, if you look at Facebook, Twitter, and many other apps, you find out that on the menu bar, some people will just use icons. Some will put icons and text. On your Piggy Vest, Carry Wise app, you would see these things on it. You would see that some apps have a description near the icon. That's because we're designed for different people. Now, Snapchat is one of the most complicated apps, but I mean for Gen Z people. No, for millennials and boomers. It's very, very complicated to use. But Snapchat was created in a way that younger people understand it because younger people are familiar with the new icons that we have in town. The new icons, or the trendy icons and the way it looks like. And so they are very, very they find it easy to use. So now user experience design is designing for human beings. I've said it encompasses designing for mobile apps and websites, even software. Right now, we are all on YouTube watching me. You can see around your YouTube there are different buttons that you're interacting with. The chat section. Look at the side of the text and the chat. Why is it that color? Why is it easy for you to find out what I am doing? Why is it easy for you to find out where why is it easy for you to find out what I am doing? Why is it easy for you to find out where to type a text? Are you frustrated when you're on YouTube? Or is it difficult for you to use YouTube? For example, now, if a new competitor comes up with a new product, if a competitor comes up with um, a new app like YouTube, how will they create it? Will they find it easy to create? Will they find Facebook um, easy to create for people to use? Or will they use new icons that we don't know about? This is all we look at in user experience. Why am I saying this? Because there's something called Jacob's Law. Don't worry, I'll give you access to this particular file. We have what they call Jacob's Law. Jacob's Law. So in UX design, we have what they call Jacob's Law. Jacob's Law has to do with the fact that when you enter a particular software or a particular tool that people have not used before, people find it easy to use the website or app if they can recognize that the icons or the symbols they are seeing on the website or the interface of the website is similar to what they have used before. That is why when you enter GTB app or you enter Facebook or Twitter or WhatsApp or Telegram, you can understand what it's about without even learning it. We don't go to schools to learn WhatsApp or learning Figma. No, okay, go to school to learn Figma. Sorry, stage fright. So we don't go to school to learn how to use WhatsApp. We already see because of Jacob's law. We already know that if I press this button, this plus button, if I press the plus button, it means I want to add a new chat. So we already know that if we press the plus button on our app, we want to start a new chat, or we want to add something. We know that what's on your mind when they put it for us there is usually when we put it for it us there is usually inside a box square, a rectangle. We know that it's that way already. So this is what we call user experience design. So UX design, there are people who try to help human being interact with a product. So we look at products and we say, okay, what is an art? An art has a hole inside. I put on my head, I can wear it. This is interaction between a product and a person. My mouse is shaped in this way, ergonomically, so that I can hold it seamlessly and use it to work. This is what they call user experience design. So let us look at the history of UX design. Don't worry, all these particular materials I'm talking about, I'll provide them for us later, or we can just watch the video, you know. So the term UI UX started in the year 1990 by someone called Donald Norman. So the person who started UI UX is called Dr. Donald Norman. He came up with this idea called UX design in 1990. And he was working with Apple and he came up with this term because he knew that people in the next few years there will be more products for people to use. I know this was early days of computer. Computers were still very very new at this time. So he came up with this term in where people can experience a product or a system. You know, I don't know if you remember how products looked like those days, computers and everything. They were really really terrible to use. And now we can now start looking at other examples of UX. Don't worry, we're still going to fall into UI, which is the most you know the most fancy part about this thing. So now in UX design, you can look at this particular tab. This is a tab or a faucet. I don't know what they call it. I'm Nigerian, I beg. So this is a tab with several handles. We don't know which of them to interact with. So when we look at a product for the first time, we can see it and we can see that this particular thing is asking questions. Which way would you turn the handle for auto code water? Yes, when I go to hotels a lot, I find it very, very hard to understand some of their tabs and how to, turn on the auto tap or the cold water. And so most times I just put a bucket there and I get the auto tap and I mix it with cold water when I go to an hotel. So from this thing now, look at it. Which way will you turn the handle, right or left? How do you increase the volume of the water? We don't know because it doesn't tell. I would share a book with us after the class, that will help us with understanding design from scratch. So we cannot tell which of this particular handle shows hot water or cold water. We cannot tell each of everything. The only way to tell is by trial and error. So we have to be able to practice and try to see which of this sorry. We have to practice and tell to see which of these things work. But in UI UX design, there are consequences for bad UX. Let me explain it here. So bad UX has consequences. Do you want to know some of the consequences? Does anyone know the consequences of bad UX? I hope we're still here. We have 14 people in the group. I mean, we said we're going to be about 80 people join the group, but we have only 40 persons here. Anyways, let's continue. So bad UX has consequences. There are consequences of why they are. For example, yesterday Piggyverse was trending online, but that's not bad UX anyways. But when you go to a bank app and the bank app is not loading, it takes minutes and hours to load. And you're like, I want to transfer money to somebody, I cannot transfer this money. What would I do? And you delete the app. Or someone says, oh, you know what? I want you to try this new app. You want to receive payment, right? I want you to try this new app. Then the person now says, okay, uh I have downloaded the app. I'm on the app, I'm online, and I want to use the app, and the app is not loading. Or where am I going to put in my name? Registration form is not working. Why I cannot see this text? Now that's bad UX. And what it means is that the person can get angry and say, you know what, I'm deleting this application, I'm deleting this software, I'm not going to use this software anymore. So this is what bad UX does. But now the people who own the app, the company, the CEO and the CFO and the tech bros that own the app did not pay attention to bad UX. What happens to them? The people who should use the app are now running away and saying, you know what, I am not using this app anymore. And what happens to them? I think they lose money. Investors run away with the money and run away with their money and say, you know what, I can't invest in this particular platform. Your UX is bad, I can't invest. And people say, oh, I can't use the app, it frustrates me when I use the app. Now this is bad UX. This is bad UX. Can we hear me? I hope you can hear what I'm saying. I'm sorry, I'm using a particular software to stream. It's called Streamlab, and I was looking for a way to make sure I can interact with everybody. So let me give another example of bad UX. Let me get into the group. And so another example of bad UX is this. You know, this is like really bad. Let me tell you why this particular button is bad. We have save and we have delete here. Now, look at these two buttons. We have save. If you have a product, what do you want people to do to your product? Do you want people to save their profile or to delete their profile? So if you're asking me to delete my profile or save my profile, what is the emphasis of this particular platform on? It says save, but it's not bold. It says delete. So in UI UX, we'll be looking at what they call visual hierarchy in the future. So visual hierarchy in design will be something we'll talk about in the next few weeks, or might even talk about it today if we have time. This class has been 37 minutes so far, and I hope we've learned something. So now in visual hierarchy, we look at an item and we say which one has more hierarchy than the other. Hierarchy is the um is the way you put emphasis on an item or a product. The bigger items or an item with more color accentuates the item. We say that okay, these products, we want people to look at this first before they look at this. Now, if you look at this particular save and delete frame, you can see that your eyes will first go to delete. Your attention will first go to the delete button before you go to the save button. Why? Because it's a bad UX. I want people to come to my product, to my website. I want people to come to my website or to my app and do a particular action. I can now say delete. I can now say send. So if I have send, if I have send and delete buttons on a website, and I make the two buttons, and I make these two buttons to be of the same color, this is bad UX. This is an example of bad UX. Because now we have two options. Which one do I choose? But no, the right thing to do in this particular instance is to remove this and to make this dark. So let's follow the example here and say save. Then we can now make this delete red. Why? Because in design, emphasis should not be put on the wrong button, on the wrong item. So if you look at good apps, you notice that the you look at good apps, you notice that this is how it is. The delete button never takes hierarchy, does not take preeminence over the positive action. Don't worry, you learn this later in UX design, but this is just the way I've been able to explain it so you can understand what UX is. You get? So this would enable your mind to think about design in a way that you can all benefit from it. So let's go back and look at how to solve this particular icon that we've spoken about earlier on here. So we said this is bad UX, and then we'll talk about good UX now. How do you solve buttons? So sometimes a website can be fine. It can be fine. Twitter can be fine. It can look good. WhatsApp can look good. But have you noticed that every month or every 2 months, Twitter and Facebook and every product, they're always working on their app. Now look at this particular button. Now look at the solution they came up with. The save button here was not taking preeminence or hierarchy, but the delete button was taking, which means that our eyes sometimes will just delete something. We are doing something in the design or we're on our bank app and we're supposed to send the money. But the send button is not bold. You cannot send. And now good UX has consequences also. Good UX also means that there'll be more sales for the product and the designer. So when you get to the stage when you want to be employed by a company to design stuff, you know that you can trust the brand to always, they can always trust you to give them good UX in terms of their design, because you start to think differently from regular people. Many websites or many tutorial videos you're going to watch in the next future that I'm going to give you or give you access to that are from other people or from paid platforms. They won't teach you of the feel or the feel of the container. Let me define UI for us now. My network is really bad. I hope you can hear me well. Okay, thank you, Femi. So we have 21 persons listening to the class. Please let us be patient. I'm trying to explain. So what is UI design? UI stands for user interface design. So UI design is the design of a product and how it looks like in terms of the shape, the color of visuals, the text or typography, which people call font. Some people call it font. Then also we can also look at size. So we can also look at size when we're talking about UX, I mean UI design rather. So this is the interesting part. I know everyone wants to understand about UI design. So we talk about the shape or how the thing feels like when you use it, the text or typography or the size. So UI is what you can interact with on a platform. An example is on your phone, you have the mobile app, your keyboard that you press, your buttons on your phone or screens. Don't worry, next class will be better than this one. I'm also learning, please. Thank you. I'm also trying to improve myself, which is why I'm teaching this class. The benefit is for me to also become as best as I can as a designer. So this is why I have to keep teaching in any little capacity I can teach. So keyboards that you press that you press, your buttons on your phone or screens, you know, the shape of the door handle. Now I don't know if anyone is confused, but and for those who are just joining us, I have explained that in UX, in UX, it affects our feelings. You get good UX affects our feelings. Or how do I explain? Let me explain it in a better way. Good UI design affects can affect UX design. Good UX design leads us to make better UI designs. I don't know if it's clear. If it's clear, Yes. So they are like a subset and a set. When I explain it here, let me do this. Um, so good UI and UX, they are intertwined. UI and UX are very, very intertwined. And so they are very, very intertwined and they work with one another. For example, sometimes you notice that a button can be very, very small in the design that you will not be able to, you will be unable to press it. Or two buttons are so close to one another that when you press one, the other one presses also. This is how UI and UX interact with one another. Now, in the field of UX design, note that in other places, in big companies, some people are not UI UX designers, some people are just UI designers, while some people are simply UX designers. And when you have a company that has a small team, then you now have people who are in small teams. In small teams, we have people who are we have people who are both who are both UI designers and UX designers. So they do the two jobs together. So today, next week, would go into the nitty-gritty of I will break everything down together. In next week, I would also share, or during the week, I mean, I would share the curriculum of everything. I would make a video and explain everything in detail, step by step, of breaking everything down. That's to the UI, UX design, and UI design. But for now, let's just talk about UI design. And I will now jump into Figma and I'll explain all the tools of Figma and how it works together. So UI design, as I said, deals with the shape, the color, the text, and the size. All these things together are what you have to think about to create a good product. And all these things, when they are not done properly, when you don't have a good UI, it can affect good UX. And what this means is that a company or a business can lose money. In fact, it's true. I'll share it in the group. Companies have lost millions of dollars because of a simple mistake in UX design and UI design. It can cost you millions of you put the product out. For example, Apple, imagine Apple, they launched the new iPhone 16 or iPhone 16, and then the UX is bad, the UI is bad. They'll start to lose, but because of Apple and iPhone, and now they have a good reputation already, they will not lose anyways. But when under any other brand that tries that kind of problem, they would fall into a lot of debts and issues, when they have poor UI and UX. So we have um, good UI designers and good UX designers who are doing the skill or the role as a single. So I have to type and ask if people can hear me speak. Oh, okay. Thank you, Queen Esther, for letting me know you can hear me well. Sorry, Udeme. I'm trying very hard to make sure you can all hear me. So I will continue, and I'm sorry, my network is really bad. I'm trying to open some pages. Okay. Yeah, my network is really terrible. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, guys. People are letting me know in the WhatsApp group that they cannot hear me well. really sorry about that. So I'll continue now, and I'll go on to explain you. Okay, so basically, UI designers are people who care about how a product looks or how it feels. They are very, very concerned with how a product feels or how it's, how it looks like. That's what UI UX design means, basically. I hope we are able to understand all these things now. So now I'm sure that the part a lot of people want to know or learn about is we spent the last 1 hour talking about UI UX already. I have not spoken about the different sections or the different curriculums and everything. Anyways, one of the best ways to learn UI UX is to first break it down. If you want to learn yourself, there are ways to break it down into different sections and angles. So for now, let us talk about Figma, and let me introduce us to the skill to what Figma is. So Figma is an interactive product and a collaborative product that people use to design products and websites, mobile apps, the softwares on platforms also. So we can see on my screen right now, we can see every part of my screen that we have different icons. So mostly in design, we can see this one. It's for a quick action. You can access our file, new design files, or open other files. We can export and save files locally on our computer. We can, you know, change properties of objects from here. We can access our plugins here. We have saved plugins. You can find new plugins here. When you go to the bottom of saved plugins, you can find new. It's the move tool. It is what you can use to move a particular element on a screen. The move tool is what you can use. But next to the move tool, you can find an icon that comes to the bottom. This is the scale tool. To use this tool on a Windows computer, you can press V or K on your keyboard. Press K. If I press K, you'd see that if I press K on my computer on a frame, especially on a frame, on an icon that is a frame, or even regular icons, you can see that the arrow has changed. My arrow changes to a double icon, which means that you can scale a design into big, make it bigger or smaller. You would be needing this particular feature soon, but I don't recommend it for now. Then when you press V on your computer, you can easily move this particular element anywhere by pressing V on your computer. Now that's the function of the move tool or the and the scale tool. Next thing we have the shape tool. These are the shape tools here. The arrow below shows that you have many other options to choose from. Okay, no, sorry. The next one is the frame tool. It looks like an hashtag, right? So the frame tool is what you use to select your frame for your design. In Figma, we already have many presets. So if I press F on my computer or I press on this place or press F, this particular panel immediately changes. Note that we have two panels or three panels in our design. We have the left panel that shows our assets and layers. The assets and layers. Don't worry about the assets for now, but the layers show you all the things we've been doing, everything that's been on our computer screen. And if you click on next on a particular asset, if you click on a particular name, if you double click on a particular icon in this area, it will take you to that particular object on your frame, on your canvas. This is your canvas. This particular white area is your canvas. So if I click on this on F or press the frame icon, it shows me on the right hand side different frames. Now we have the phone. We already have an iPhone 14 coming out. So in the next few weeks, you should be expecting an iPhone 14 frame. So these frames are your presets. They are presets. They show you the size of what an iPhone 14 looks like when you want to design a platform. So if you click on it, it brings you this. Sorry, there seems to be a problem with my computer and it's not showing me well what I should have here. I have a problem with my screen. So anyways, let me just go into dark screen for now. There's something with my Figma, which is why I cannot show, it's not showing white. Because naturally when you come on, you press the frame icon, F, it should show you, when you press F, this particular frame or this shape should show you a white screen, a white layer. But there's a setting I need to do on my computer that, it's really, really messing with me right now. I can't do it. So that's why I have, it's here. So now this is showing the iPhone 13 size and the iPhone SE. I think the iPhone SE is the one that came before iPhone X Max or iPhone X. So this is what the iPhone X is. And so whenever you're designing for mobile phones, or want to design a mobile app, you're going to have to press F for your computer or choose the frame and choose from any of these presets. Now, you're wondering, okay, what of iPhone, what of Android devices? Don't worry, just stick to the iPhones, especially the latest iPhones, because as time goes on, in the next few years, you notice that people are not using this phone size anymore. Nobody's using some of this phone size anymore to design. Nobody's using this phone size anymore to design products. So it's best to just usually just stick to the iPhone size because many of the phones we have are usually in the size of this Android large and the iPhone, the iOS devices. So if you go to frame again with F or this icon, you can go to tablets. You want to design for your tabs, you can choose from any of this one to choose a particular settings already. They all have their settings. Most times you have to choose between the iPhones and the desktop. The desktop, we have MacBook, we have the MacBook this, MacBook that, and we have the desktop. Desktops are for regular computers. So most times, even for MacBook designers, it's best to just choose the desktop layout for your design. So here we already have another frame that shows what we are doing. Yes, okay, so I seem to have just two people viewing. I don't know what's wrong. I hope everyone can hear me. I can only hear about two or three persons. Okay, anyways, we move. So this is what the frame tool is about. You can choose a preset and choose a particular um, object. Now under it you have the slice tool. The slice tool is a knife to cut in between items. You're not going to be needing this item very often. You won't be needing it. So next we have the shape tool. In the shape tool, we press R to make a rectangle. This is the part you want to pay attention to. So to make a rectangle, you can just simply just press R or choose the square tool and just press left click and drag to the left or left click and drag to the top, any direction. But now you see that you're making a rectangle already. The rectangle has different sides. Now let's go again to some things you need to know. Now in every of the tool you choose, by the right hand side you have the property bar. This is telling me that on this canvas we did in graph in secondary school we did graph and we did x and y axis and everything. In a graph we know that different areas of the graph has different axes. So now on this particular graph on my screen, by holding the control and your mouse wheel button in and out, you can zoom in and out of your design. Hold the control and the mouse in and mouse out to move, zoom in and out of your design. So, but now in this large canvas that we have here, this massive expanse of infinity canvas that we have here, we can see that the x-axis of this thing says that on the x-axis of this frame, of this graph, let's pretend it's a graph, I am on 3452 or 3241 x-axis and 22095 y-axis. The property bar is telling me that this rectangle has the property of 1391 pixel of width by 702 pixel of height. This property bar. Then on this side, We can see that there's a fill. The fill is where I change the color. I can give it a white, a complete white. Sorry, you're not going to see the white now because my Figma has a problem. But black is FFF, no, 0000000 is black. Then we have red. Then we have the spectrum of colors to choose from. You can now choose your color different based on different properties. RGB, you can change the colors. We have I can't remember this is what it means. Hue, saturation, and lightning. HSL, that's what you call it. Hue. You can put this stands for hue. If you're a front end or you tried front end before, you can change hue. You can put 90. So hue has to do with I think light. Saturation, let's see what happens when I put 90. You can see it keeps changing. Okay, this is light, clearly. You can see that this thing keeps moving towards the right hand side. This is light. And saturation has to do with darkness. So you can put it to 900. Let's see what happens when I put to 900. Okay, sorry, I seem to have missed this thing. I've not used it before, so please permit me. This is clearly light. I can't remember which of the order because I don't use it. I mostly just stick to each x values, and I can move it right, left, and right. Out in more time, I'll teach us how to choose colors for our design. We're going to have someone else teaching the class for colors and how to choose your colors in design. So I have people I've taught design who are going to be able to teach us. You know, they are making money already in design, and they'll be here to teach us with time. So we have the properties color here, and for now, let's just forget layers. Let's just stick to this one. Next, we have the stroke. I seem to have missed two things. This is the angle. In the angle, you can rotate this item left and right, up and down 360. So I'll just simply go back to 0 to bring it back to its original position. Then here we have the radius, corner radius or border radius. In Adobe XD, it's called border radius. In Figma, it's called corner radius. So now these are the four corners of this design. So to change the four corners of the design, I will just press 32. You can see that the corner is curved 32 pixels. I'll click on it again, come here, and I'll see it's 32. But now we have these four things here, independent corners. Now, if I want to change the corners of this particular icon without changing the rest of it, I can use this particular feature. Now, it's telling me I can do right and left. I can put it to 0. Right, you can see it's changing to right. I can put it to 90. You can see it's changed. Let me put it to 400 so you can see it change massively. Then lower right, let me put it to 400 also. Then left, we have 32. So this is how to alter a property of a particular shape by using the property panel. Next thing at the bottom, we have effect. I'm sorry that the video keeps stopping. Folashade, I'm sorry. We can always go back to watch the video after. So I'm really sorry. I'm trying as best as possible to shout and to be very, very loud. I'm sorry, Odun Ayo. So okay, let's continue and let's keep learning, you know. So now we have the next property. All this property now, I was talking about the stroke property. The stroke is giving it a black. Let's give it a red so that we can see it well. I can't see it well.